There we go. So yeah, I do want to talk about sponsoring, but I kind of want to talk about a little bit of everything, I think. And I wanted to go off the cuff today a little bit. I know that I get to do that on the empowerment calls, but it's never necessarily what I kind of want to talk about. So I wanted to take this chance to go off the cuff with you all, really talk to all of you. I will touch sponsoring, but kind of talk about, because I'm feeling crazy disorganized and I'm feeling like it's the end of the year. I'm scrambling. I'm not only scrambling to finish up 2019, but I kind of want to get ready for 2020 because I don't want to be scrambling in January. I'm having a hard time balancing wrapping up my year and then January and then the holidays. And I'm just feeling super disorganized. And then that's making me feel really overwhelmed. And then because I feel overwhelmed, I'm not actually doing anything productive at all because I'm just hanging out in this space of like, oh my God, I'm a mess. I'm just going to watch Netflix. Like you Disney Plus for releasing in December, you jackholes. Right? Because now I'm just like, I'm just going to watch Pocahontas and sit in my bathrobe. And that's where I'm at. And I feel like I'm probably not alone in that feeling. Maybe I'm alone in the Disney Plus, but I'm not alone in that sense of what am I doing? What am I supposed to be doing? I feel like I should be working, but I don't even know what to work on because let's be real here at this point, December parties are kind of out the window. And we're trying to get ready for the holidays and there's just all of these things. And so I also feel like too, this is the time for personal growth, or that we feel like we're supposed to be planning personal growth and development. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm going to grow. I don't even know what I want to work on. And I feel like there's also a lot of things that I almost need to forgive myself for. Like, how many of you did not hit your 2019 goals?
No.
Okay. And yeah, and so I feel like there's a piece of, well, how am I supposed to go on and plan my 2020 when I'm feeling shitty about 2019 and I'm still feeling guilty over 2019? And so I wanted to talk a little bit about being kind of perfectly imperfect, about forgiving yourself for, you know, maybe what you didn't do in 2019 and releasing the pressure. Because I think that one of the things, at least that I do, and hopefully some of you can relate to that feeling, is I tend to either go in, I go into, I'm sorry about the language, I go into fuck it mode. Because instead of acknowledging, okay, I didn't hit my 2019, it's really hard to be serious over your fat head. So I feel like I go from, okay, I didn't hit my 2019 goals to, okay, well then screw it. Screw 2019. I'm better than this. I can do this. Like, just get your shit together. And I have to like rally almost from like take those negative emotions and make them like almost a rally, like war cry. But I don't actually think that that's real, you guys, because what we're doing is we're actually fueling the negative to almost feel a fake positive. So we're not actually doing any work. We're not actually releasing anything. We're not forgiving ourselves for what we didn't do. We're almost beating ourselves up more to fuel a change. And I think that genuine change can't come from that place. So what I would encourage all of you to do in the next couple weeks is take a really honest look at yourself and at your business. So as an example, I did not book enough parties this year to hit my retail sales goal. That's not a, you're worthless and you didn't book parties. You're not capable and you didn't book parties. You suck because you didn't book parties. It's just a statement of fact. I did not book enough parties to hit my goal. And I am going to forgive myself for all of the times that I didn't play the booking game. I am going to acknowledge that sometimes I just felt tired and I didn't want to, and that's okay. I am going to acknowledge that I feel guilty because I know that I am capable of booking parties at parties, and for whatever reason I chose not to, and that's okay. Hi. So I think owning it without any negative, without any positive either, just recognizing I didn't do this, or I could have done this, and kind of just processing that is okay. Right? Like, Anna, I hope that you're okay. I'm going to call you out right now because I said I wish I was in Kapkana.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am sure that you wish that you were in Kapkana.
Of course.
And I don't want to rub salt in that, right? I don't want to.
I'm good.
I have been there. I have felt that, and it feels awful. It feels awful. And I know you're pretty good about not beating yourself up. But I also know that it can be really hard not to. And so I think anything like that, you guys, that you feel like you should have, anything that there's any yucky feelings around, forgive yourself for and release it. You don't have to promise yourself that you're going to do better next time. You don't have to rally yourself with fake positive. You can just be okay with, I didn't do that. I didn't hit that. I didn't hit it fast enough. That doesn't make me any less capable. That doesn't make me any less deserving. That doesn't make me any less worthy. I just didn't do it. And that's okay. Right? So that going into next year, you can have a blank slate, because I think that riding the roller coaster of, hell yeah, I'm going to hit this crazy ass goal. Oh crap, I didn't hit that crazy goal. Screw this, I'm going to shoot for this goal. Oh God, I didn't hit that goal. You know what? I'm going to go for this. And then not hitting it is exhausting. And if you are so exhausted from riding that roller coaster, how do you expect to have the energy to maintain a constant, steady business, which is what will actually get you to a goal, right? Like, I'm going to use the 100, let's take President's Club, right? President's Club is one of those goals that women look at and they're like, I'm going to hit President's Club. I'm going to have like $10,000 months. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do 15 parties a month. Like, go, 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 go. The reality of President's Club, right, is that President's Club is just over $5,000 a month in sales. I'm not saying that's not still a lot. That's not 10K. You know what I mean? That is not 10K. You guys, that is how many? That is seven $750 parties. Is that more parties than what you're doing right now? Probably. Yes, right? Is that party average maybe higher than what you're doing right now? Yes. But do you have to go into it like, I'm going to blow 10K out of the water? Do you know what I mean? No, you don't. You can look at your numbers and you can look at yourself and be like, okay, babe, I need to start the year with 5 parties a month, right? So that by February, March, I can be doing 7 to 8 parties a month, or even start at 5 for a few months and then do 6 to 7 each month, and then do 8 to 9 each month to make up the difference for those other months where you didn't, right? Or if you are, like for me as an example, I'm gone in January for like a week and a half. My January might not be crazy high. That's okay, but I need to plan for another month to be higher than it might have been before. And that's kind of, you guys, where the plan comes in. And so the plan is looking at your year while stripping down your goals in a realistic way that's actually going to work for you. So you don't have to go into each month with a fake bullshit rally cry. You can look at your month and know part of what you need to do, but also too, if you can look at your whole year so that you have a general plan of what you need to be hitting, where you can kind of make tweaks. And so I like to kind of use President's Club as a standard, only because it's set numbers, right? So your goal might be $30,000 next year with 10 new consultants. That's awesome. You can apply exactly the same principles to it because you've kind of set yourself standard, right? So as an example of creating a plan, number one, you need to know how much time you realistically have to dedicate to your business. It is really unfair to tell yourself that you want to have $100,000 a year goal if you only want to do 3 parties a month, right? Like, you are never gonna feel good about that. Now, an exception to that might be if you are going to dedicate yourself to online sales. And when I say online sale, Alexa, I'm not talking to you. I don't know that. Alexa, turn off. I don't know how to make her stop. Okay, I think she's dead. I really know how to work her. I just tell her to play music.
You're triggering mine too. Mine is going on now that you're saying that.
Weird. I need to change my name. I didn't even say her
Mine's
name.
going off too. It's
Oh my God. You're really so creepy. You guys, like, Mike hates it. He's like, it's listening to me. I'm like, she's useful. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. So,
We needed a good laugh.
I know, right? I know. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I was talking about the plan. Okay, so oh, right, online. So here's the difference, you guys. There can be money made online. We know that from women that do Unique, do the New Skin toothpaste. That, I mean, let's be real here. Women build businesses on Instagram. Okay, so it is possible. It's just that it's not our model, and we do not have the best training on that. So what I would say would be different is that if you were dedicated to learning how to create an online business model outside of the pure romance model, then yes, you could potentially have 100K a year from online sales, right? So I'm not saying that it's not possible. What I am saying is that in that instance, you have to be realistic. You are not going to do that with online parties in the pure romance online party model, right? We know that. If you've done an online party, you know they're between $300 and maybe $600 on average. Still badass, but not 100. So be realistic about what it is that you are actually willing to do in 2020, but also time capable of doing in 2020. So when you're actually crafting your plan, here's your homework assignment number 1. You need to have a 2020 planner. And yeah, girl, you got one right in front of you. Yes. Yeah, Louise. So you need to go through that planner first and foremost. Here's what I want in your planner first. Family commitments. Because family comes first. Now, here's the other thing that I want to say about that. We are almost all in this business for our family or for ourselves, right? To create a better version of ourselves, to create the family life that we want to have. Okay? Family and friends. Friends fall into the family category, right? Friends are the family that you choose. Okay, so when I say family, please know, like, I am referencing family, I am referencing friends, I am referencing social engagements that are important to you, okay? Because one of the problems is that I think, and I do this a lot, is that I am so committed to my business that I ignore my family. And then when my family starts screaming, I have to ignore my business to take care of my family. And then my family becomes an excuse to not do what I need to do in my business. It's like so it's always doing this. If and when I know what family commitments are important to me, my business it's never a 9 to 5, but it becomes more structured like a 9 to 5 in terms of this is work time and this is family time, right? I can make that distinction and it allows me to make a choice. So by knowing what family commitments are important to me, I'm able to dedicate myself to work or to play. And in moments where I could go either way, I have a choice. That means that instead of in my day-to-day life, it allows me to be an active participant versus always being reactive to the situation and to the people around me. Do you guys ever feel like that? Like you're reacting all of the time, right? Like you're never making a conscious choice. It's always like, this is bullshit. We need a date night. So you're like, all right, well, F you then. Let's have a date night. And you're reacting. You're never like, ooh, I have next Wednesday set aside. You know, it'd be really fun. It'd be really fun to plan a date night, right? Like, but do you see how being reactive to would allow you to feel more energy? Because you're in control, right? Like you're making a conscious choice about who and what and when you're spending your time with and on what. So assignment number 1, you're going to go through your planner. I want birthdays in there, right? I want holidays in there. I want your best friend's birthday. Also too, like if you like to go on, you know, girl trips, you guys, this is the time. And here's the thing, this is one thing that does need to shift a little bit, but again, it's within your control. I reach out to my family around this time of year. So let's say like my mom, as an example, really flexible about when she does her birthday. She doesn't care. So if her birthday, as an example, falls on a Saturday, I know that she is more than happy to do it on a Thursday night. So I might reach out to her and be like, hey, Mom, for your birthday this year, are you cool with me scheduling, you know, parties on your birthday? And she says, yes, I am. And I'm like, okay, cool. Do we want to schedule your birthday this year? Or do we just want to play it by ear and see what I've got open and what everybody else has open? Usually she's a play it by ear person, but I know that I am free and clear to schedule parties on her birthday. Michael Heinen's birthday, I better not be making any damn plans because that man is a diva. His whole birthday like week is dedicated to Michael Heinen. Like if his birthday falls on a Friday and I book a Saturday or Sunday party, we're getting divorced, right? Like now if his birthday lands on a Tuesday, I just have to leave Tuesday open. But I know this about him, right? So even when I'm making the plan, like I don't know if you guys noticed this, we did not have a boot camp on the first Sunday of May. Because it was May 6th. And he was not about to have, and his birthday is May 5th. He was not about to have me getting up early the morning after his birthday to be training and shit, right? Like, and here's the deal. Would he, oh. Oh my God. Okay, sorry guys. You couldn't see what just happened. I wonder if I can move this. Okay, so do you guys see how this paper is over the edge of my desk?
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat thought that that was solid. Straight off the edge. Oh God, okay. So here's the thing. I know that for Mike, it is a feel bad if he doesn't feel special. Now, I also know, I'm going to share a little bit about Mike. His childhood was awful. Awful. And he never felt celebrated. So for him, me not being available on his birthday is like a childhood trigger that he doesn't matter. Right now, my birthday, I'll do a party on my own birthday. Like birthdays do not matter to me at all. If anything, I can't think of a better way to spend my birthday. So these are the types of things though that I actually want you to be real and honest about and really put conscious thought into. Let's say you like to take a girl's trip twice a year or once a year, right? Like maybe that's something that you don't do, but you would actually like to do. Go through your planner, pick out a few weekends that actually look pretty good to you, call up your girlfriends now and be like, hey, I was thinking it would be really damn cool if we took a trip. We can plan it all year, but I want to get a date nailed down. Are you cool with that? And do you want to do this with me? If they're like, oh my God, yes, then plan that trip now, right? And that's not to say that you can't plug in spontaneous things, camping trips, whatever it might be. You guys can still do that, but plug in certain things so that your social life doesn't feel neglected all year. Because that's what happens when you just go out and you just book parties and you ignore having a social life, is that, let's be real, you end up missing a whole bunch of stuff because you weren't the one that planned it and you had a party booked. So if you just take a little bit of initiative to plan a couple of things, then you make sure that even if you miss out on this event over here, at least you had this event over here. Does that not sound so much more balanced and healthy? Right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I have to say, because being a hairstylist, I live on a schedule. And I will tell you what, if I don't have an appointment book where I feel so lost without it, and if you get in the groove of it, you're going to love your planner books and everything. It's going to save you, because I can't remember everything.
No.
The older I get, my memory just isn't as what it used to be. And I have to write things down now. It's perfect for all of that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think too, like, you guys know, I'm really spontaneous. So I really fought like scheduling things because I was like, well, I'm never going to be able to have fun and be spontaneous. Here's the really ironic thing about scheduling. The more clear that you are in where you need to be and when, the more clear you are about what is work time and what is play time, means the more effort and energy you have to put into your free time to choose what it is that you want to do. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, whereas if you're always reacting and if you're always just all over the place, you're in a state of chaos all of the time, which means you're not thinking about your friends. You're not thinking about having a life, right? You're not thinking about having a hobby because you're so spastically all over the place trying to calm the chaos that you actually don't have time for anything else. It's so interesting to me that the more rigidly women schedule themselves, in a way, the more fun they have time to have. Like, it's a very weird, bizarre thing, but it's the truth. So assignment number 1, you're going to go through your planner and you are going to write down all of your family commitments, friend commitments, things that are important to you, especially like for the summer, right? Like, if you know that you love to go camping, if you know that you love to, like, plug those in. Now, the other thing that I like to do, so as an example, is like this last summer, I knew that we wanted to go to Yosemite at some point while Marcel, our old roomie, was here from Switzerland. He was here for 6 weeks. I didn't know exactly when because he wasn't quite sure what he had going on. So it was dependent on him. So I just had a little Post-it note that said Yosemite ? And I put that in my planner for June, so that I kind of knew that it was coming and that I knew that I would need to have a block of time. I didn't know exactly when it was going to be yet, but it was still kind of in the forefront. So even if there's some things that you're not sure about, like, I know as another example, Mike and I want to go to Hawaii because I earned those free airline tickets for being a global record breaker, and we still haven't used them yet. So I know that I need to plan that. I'm not exactly sure when yet. So I've got a sticky note, right, that says Hawaii. But that also means that when I'm looking at booking parties or I'm booking for things for those months, the last thing that I want to do is book a party for every single Thursday night for that month, right? Because then that means that no matter what, I'm going to be stuck. So if I'm booking that far out, I'm kind of trying to cram them into like 1 week or 1 weekend. So it still leaves me 3 weeks to play with. Does that make sense with kind of how you can start to structure your life a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next thing that you guys need to put into that planner, other than, the friends, the birthdays, the family things, is going to be how many parties you actually want to do. Because when you look at structuring, and this includes online, okay? Because an online party still takes time and effort, right? And here's why this is important, because I think that one of the things that people do when they're breaking down annual goals, so again, as an example, that 65,000, I said, oh, you guys, that's 7 parties a month. But a real businesswoman's calendar might be a 5-party month, an 8-party month, a 6-party month, a 10-party month, a 4-party month, and then an online sale because they know they need a little bit more retail, right? Like your calendar is going to fluctuate based on what you have going on. Now, you might have a minimum goal, right, of like 6 parties a month. There is nothing wrong with that. I have a minimum party goal. So I'm not saying that you can't do that, but I also have like some months where I've got nothing going on. If I really rallied hard and I knew that that month was coming, I could bust out 30 parties in 30 days, right? Because I got nothing on the calendar, right? That is going to go a really long way towards smashing my goal, right? Because I can do so many more parties in that month. And then instead of killing yourself every single month, you know that as an example, for me, it's July or August. So I know that when I'm doing that maybe later list for February, March, April, May, and they're like, I want a summer party. I want a summer party. I want a summer party. I do not touch them for May bookings. I do not touch them for June bookings. In May, I'm hitting them up. Oh my God, girl, I'm so excited to get you scheduled for a July party. I can't wait. Start thinking about dates. Right? In June. And then in June, I'm like, let's do it. Like, what dates did you come up with? Let's get this booked. So I am deliberately, right, maintaining my parties that I want to have. And then I'm stacking all of my extras and I'm grooming them for the big month that I want to have. I don't care whether they want it or not. I'm grooming them to do that party in that month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
So then your calendar is being filled with your parties that are booking at parties, right? Because here's the thing, there's kind of 3 layers of party bookings. The women that are like, hell yeah, I want to do a party, let's get it booked right now. And they're booking for 3 to 4 weeks out. You're always going to have those women. We want those women. That's what fills your calendar for next month, right? Then we have the women that are like, you know what? I do want to do a party, but I actually want to do it in January, or I want to do it in February, right? They're more specific about when they want to have it. Then we have the women that are like, yeah, I totally want to do a party. I'm not really sure when, maybe in the summer, or maybe in the spring, or maybe in the fall, right? Like we've got those 3 tiers of women. So your I want a party right now, obviously that's filling your next month's goal. Your I want a party in January is going to help you plug in your January goal in addition to those other women that are maybe booking in like November, December, right? Those are also going into January. But then those women that are like, I want a spring party. You're thinking to yourself, hell yeah, I'm going to get this woman in May, because in May, I need 10 parties instead of my normal 7. So if you continue to book your parties at your parties like you need to, and you're plugging in your May girls, but then you're adding in all of those groomed extras to that month, that's how you have a larger month, right? And then on top of it, you can obviously add in a deliberate Facebook booking campaign or a deliberate booking blitz. Or you reach out, you know, Anna, to Louimi, and you're like, hey girl, you want to do a little booking challenge here? You want to go head to head? Like, let's do this, because I know we both wanted a really good May. Let's rock and roll. Let's make this happen. Oh, I need to do an online party blast, or I'm trying to get some online hostesses. You guys are then actually planning your promotions and your Facebook like attack based on what you need to have each month. Because if I've got a month where I need 5 parties, here's where it shifts. Instead of wasting my Facebook leads and instead of wasting my party leads on those 5 parties, I'm going to make sure that I stay really on point booking parties at parties. Because if I've got even 3 or 4 parties the month before, I shouldn't have any issues at all booking 5 parties from those 4 parties. right? So I am going to focus on making that happen. I am not going to waste online presence. I'm not going to waste leads on that month. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So go through your calendar, and I actually want you to take, I always use green. Green is my money highlighter, right? You guys have seen this before. You know, you're going to go through your month and you're going to highlight those dates that you want to do parties. Now, this is December, but you guys might notice December is pretty stacked in terms of these are the first 2.5 weeks, and then I have nothing. That is another part of planning your parties. Because I know that there is a lot of you, right, for December, and I didn't talk to you guys about that this year, and I'm sorry for that. I'm also going to forgive myself for that because you're grown-ass women. So I'm going to release the guilt. However, when it comes to scheduling your parties, you need to be looking at how many parties you want, how many family commitments that you have, but then also, are there any holidays or any big kind of outer events, back to school, right? Memorial Day weekend, Christmas, Halloween, New Year's, right? Like, here's a silly example. Let's see where New Year falls. Okay, so New Year's, right, falls on a Wednesday, so that's actually pretty good. If New Year's falls on a Friday night, I actually do not book parties for that Friday or for that Saturday or that Sunday, even though they're technically not New Year's. Do you guys know why?
Why?
Because 45-year-old women be thinking they rock stars on New Year's and they are hungover for 4 days. Am I wrong?
It's so true.
Yeah, like, and you guys, let's be real. Ironically, if I wanted to book a party on that Saturday night, do you know who I would book it with? I'd book it with 21-year-olds. Because they can still hang.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? Like, we used to be able to party every single night like it was New Year's. When I party on New Year's now, I am still drunk for 2 days. Like, so I think that looking at your calendar kind of that way is a smart way to do it. But also, guess what that means that I get to do the day after New Year's? I get to party like a rock star and still be on my couch.
Yes.
Right? It also means, though, that I can dedicate the first couple days of the new year to myself, setting my intentions for the new year, really re-examining my goals for the new year, spending time with my family, bringing in the new year. So I'm not giving any of those things up for a party of 40-something women that are exhausted, right? Same thing goes Memorial Day weekend. You guys know I do not book parties on holiday weekends anymore. I used to, now I just don't do it. The only exception to that, the only exception to that is when I have a group of women that are or a woman that's saying to me, oh my gosh, Lucy, can we please do a day on Memorial Day weekend because my entire family is coming into town. My aunts are going to be here. My mom is going to be here. My sisters are going to be here. And I really want to do a party with them. That is the only time that I will consent. Thanksgiving is the same. If they're like, oh my God, all my family is coming in from out of town. And are you laughing at the stupid cat? Yeah. She's all up in my grill. I know, back and forth. I think she wants to go outside, but she's just going to have to wait. So that is the only exception to that. Now, the only time that I will make that exception is if I am willing to make that exception. Do not book that party out of desperation. Because the other thing is that find out when her family is coming into town, right? Like, does it really have to be, so as an example, like when is, let me look at like, let me just find a holiday here real quick that I can look at. When is Memorial Day? In May? Okay, so Memorial Day, right, is on Monday, May 25th. So usually people are taking that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? And then that Monday off. Find out if you can do that party on Tuesday night, right? Or even, I know it sounds crazy, but actually do the party on Memorial Day itself so that you can still go camping Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right? Or do the party on the Friday night so that you can go do something like, do not schedule that party for Saturday night or, you know, Sunday afternoon, because then you've thrashed that entire weekend. Okay? So go through your calendar, figure out when you are willing to do parties, when you are not willing to do parties, and mark them out in green, because green is your money. Green is your money color. So you got to have those parties. Here we go, done. So green is your parties. So number 1, go through family events, days that you are not willing to do parties. Also too, I should have mentioned this and I did not. If there are days of the week, like let's say to you, Sunday is family day, period. You are gonna go through your entire year and put a big fat X through Sunday, right? Like these women, or Wednesday night is date night. Or Wednesday night, your kid has scouts. You are going to write in scouts for every single Wednesday for the whole year, right? Like you are going to plan it for the year, okay? All right, so then get your holidays in there, get your time in there, get your parties in there. And then what I would like for you to do is, most planners, right, have some sort of a monthly view. If you're using one, right, that's like a more of a weekly planner. What I want you to do, let's say for the month of December, you actually have 12 openings. I want you to write somewhere that you can see it big, 13. So do one more. Okay, that's your party goal. And you could even do 2 more. Because realistically, you are going to have some cancellations no matter what you do right. Right? So if you have 12 open party dates, you're going to write 14. Now, here's the other thing that I do not want you to do, because it's just going to make you feel crappy. If your realistic goal is 7 parties a month, you do not highlight 22 dates. Okay? Because then you have to keep your whole calendar clear. If your goal is to have and to hold 6 parties a month, you want 8 party dates. Maybe 9, maybe. My cat's in true form today. Something is rustling from the living room. So you are going to go through, because here's why. If you look at 20 open dates every month, whether that is your goal or not, you are always going to feel like you are falling short. Right? You are always going to feel like you are not going to hit your goal, because your visual representation of what you want is way bigger than what you're actually genuinely shooting for. So if you only want 4 parties, open up 5 or 6 dates. Okay? Now, if you really want 4 parties and you only have 4 open dates, that's fine. What I do, I actually don't have one on here to show you, but you can kind of see it. I would do this, but on like a Friday night. So see how there's 2 green lines? That means I'm actually booking 2 parties at the same time. So maybe you pick 2 Friday night dates and you're going to double book them. And I actually let women know, hey babe, just as a heads up, because this is a Friday night and I only have 4 party dates available, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to double book you. Chances are I will be the one doing your party. But if for some reason, right, something comes up, or, you know, the other party holds, I might have someone awesome come and do your party. So I will be with you the entire step of the way. I will obviously let you know, like the day of, whether or not it'll be me. So your goal is to get as many women there as possible so that I'm there doing yours. Right? So you almost make it like a challenge, and then she's like, oh, I don't want anybody else to do your party. Okay, not a problem. Well, then I can offer you this date or this date instead. Right? Because if you only have 4 dates that you can do parties, you do not want one of them to cancel the day of.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You need to keep those 4 parties. And I think here's the thing, you don't have to be a jerk. You don't have to be in their face. You can be really honest with them and just say, look, I only have 4 party dates available this month. They go really quickly. I will do the party that has the most excited women. So hustle your little tushy off. Let's get as many gals as possible. I'm not saying that you have to have 50, right? Like this is not, but if you have if you had a solid 10 women there, I can pretty much guarantee you that I will be doing your party, right? And then you give the other one away the day of. Like I would usually, what I do is I would reach out to a team member, or I would post on the ringleaders group and I would say, hey guys, I need backup for this. Maybe this is Monday. I need backup for Saturday night, right? I maybe have 2 or 3 girls that are like, yep, I'm open. I'm like, okay, cool, perfect. I'm not 100% sure yet. Day of, I will let you know. And I just keep them posted. I am not giving that party away until like 2 or 3 hours before the party, right? Like she is on, she is holding, they are both holding, because I used to give them like 2 or 3 days. I used to give them 2 or 3 days away. And I've had it where I gave one of them away and then the other bitch cancels. So I went from 2 parties on one night to 0 parties in one night. So painful, so painful. Okay, so go through your calendars, mark them off, pick out the dates, and then take a Sharpie, something big, and actually write down how many parties you want to be doing. The other thing that you could do is if you have a big hairy goal for next year, if you do want President's Club or Board of Directors, break that down into kind of how many parties it is. You're going to look at your whole calendar, right? And start thinking about, okay, this month I need to have 4 minimum. This month I can do 8. This month I need to have blah. This month I need to have blah. One of the things too that corporate actually did, where's the corporate calendar? There are a few months of the year this year that we do not actually have any corporate events. They did that on purpose. So that we have a full party month. I believe it's August. You guys look at the August calendar for Pure Romance. Nothing. So when we get back from national training, we get to hit the ground running and work. And I believe that February is like this too. They just want you to focus on working your business, which I love. So I'm going to make August ridiculous. Like August is going to be awesome because I have the time, because I don't have a bunch of corporate stuff going on. So go through, take a look. Make sure that your goals are in line with what it is that you're trying to achieve. Again, do not go through and open up 300 party dates if your party goal is 50. Oh, look at the babies loving each other. If your party goal is 70, right? Do not have 50 open dates. So really start kind of thinking about it. Then the next step is actually formulating your plan. And here's where the plan comes into play, because what you're going to do for your plan is you're going to look at what you actually scheduled yourself for that month, and then look at how you can best capitalize on that. So as an example, right, if I want to have 13 parties in August, but I average 6 parties a month, for June and July, I'm going to make a note in my calendar to book August parties, right? I'm going to make a note that that's when I need to run a big Facebook promotion for party bookings. So something like, as an example, for me, the free Coochie for Life always books me a ton of parties. So I'm going to put in my planner for, I don't know, July 1st, free Coochie for Life incentive, Facebook. I'm going to put in my planner in February, do a get lucky booking incentive for March. I am going to put in my planner, I call it my flip-flops and lemon drops promotion, because for whatever reason, people go batshit crazy over that theme. So I like to capitalize on it. So that might be something that I'm doing in May. It's not as big of a promotion as Free Coochie for Life, but I'm going to be really deliberate that month in talking about flip-flops and lemon drops. So then what I might do, and here's what's fun about coming up with the plan. You start to get creative. All those little ideas that start popping in your head that you never actually write. How many of you had an idea when I was like, flip-flops and lemon drops? I know Louie did, I could see it, right? And even as I'm talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, it would be so fun to do a live with a lemon drop recipe and like actually be making it. And then I could offer a shaker as my hostess gift, because I'm sure I could buy a shaker on Amazon for like $2. So guess what's going in my planner? Go live making a lemon drop. Offer a free shaker, right? So that I don't forget that. And this is where I think that your planner really can become such a cool tool for all of these ideas that we have that we lose. And then what happens is that we get desperate. And then when we get desperate, we're not working from our true, authentic, fun place, right? We get panicked. And when we're panicked and we're feeling chaotic, how hard is it to go spontaneously live on Facebook and feel fun and fresh? Like, that's hard. So try to come up with and brainstorm fun promotions. This is also where you would want to print off a list of like national days, right? Steak and Blowjob Day, you guys, is the day that you run a promo on Great Head. Because that's a day and it's funny and it works in with what we do. And then too, I know like right now, Anna is going to be doing our product of the week. Like once a month, she's going to be giving you guys ideas for product of the week. But this is also where you can be proactive. If there is a National Steak and Blowjob Day, instead of just posting on National Steak and BJ Day, the picture, before, 2 weeks before, you could have an email blast that goes out that says, are you ready for Steak and BJ Day? Right? Like, it's coming, ladies. Literally, ha, 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 ha. You know what I mean? You could have so much fun with that. And then what you could be doing is you could be offering a date night package.
Mm-hmm.
You could be offering, I don't know, the Great Head. You could be offering the In Good Hands. You could be offering a C ring. Like you could have 2 levels or 3 levels of a package. And then, have a steak recipe attached to it, or maybe a piece of lingerie and the Great Head, and then attach a steak recipe. How fun is that?
That's a good one.
But what happens on Steak and BJ Day? You're like, oh, damn it. I missed it. So actually take these next 2 or 3 weeks, because we have time, especially since I know most of you do not have parties on your books like you're supposed to. So don't tell me you don't have time to put a little bit of effort and creativity into what you want to focus on. So it's fun to have some sort of a promotion. So here's also where a monthly newsletter comes into play, because that could be something that you're plugging into your newsletter also. So maybe, I don't know, like National Breast Cancer Month, right, is October. So maybe once a week in October, you're doing a live on breast health, right? Or maybe the first live is about breast health. The second live is more about having fun, they're fun bags. How to enjoy your fun bags. Like, and talk about how they could use whipped on a date night to frost the cupcakes. Right? Like how to enjoy them. And then maybe your next live after that is a little bit more real, and you're going to talk to our cancer survivors and our women who have had mastectomies, who don't have fun bags, and how they can feel beautiful and sexy. And you can talk about how good our lingerie is for women who have had mastectomies, because they don't have underwire and cups that they can't fill. I don't know if you guys know this, but like the woke up like this and the blush is flat. It will lay flat. So if they do not have a chest, they can still wear that and feel feminine and sexy without feeling like they don't have breasts. Right? So that's something that you guys could put in for October. So Google like national months and national days, and you're going to write that, you know. So what I like to do on my month view, you guys see how down here there's the 2 squares that have nothing in it?
Mm-hmm.
This is where I would write like breast month, right? That's where I would write like, you know, what my monthly focus is. And then, yes, I've got my little ideas kind of jotted down all over the place, but this is where I have my monthly focus. Now, obviously, Pure Romance is also doing a monthly focus. We're going to know about those a month ahead of time, right? Like, as an example, if you guys have checked out the training website, we know that the incentive, we know in December they're focused on January. Well, January 1st, we're going to know, and we're going to be pushing the February incentive. So what's so cool about that is that when you're looking at your plan, right, when they come out with the new incentive, you have a whole month of working that, whatever their monthly focus is, into your own monthly focus. Right? So as an example, let's say that, you know, it's Valentine's season coming up. So when you're looking at the January incentive, how can you make that January incentive sound even better? It's $60 in free product. So it's like, ladies, what are you going to choose for your super hot Valentine's night? Because you've got $60 to spend on whatever you want. Same incentive, but it's flipped to suit you and your incentives, right? Maybe you're doing a focus on lingerie for the month of February, right? February is love month, but we've got a lot of sexy singles. So girl, you are gonna hit the town with Take the Plunge, either peeking out or as your shirt with a sexy blazer on over the top. Here's my challenge for all of my sexy singles out there. Go out on a night on the town with your girlfriends. Do not pick up a man. Do not accept a drink from a man. You tell him, thank you very much, you're super good looking, but I'm out for the girls. But you are going to be wearing Take the Plunge under a blazer for you. So then guess what? When I'm talking about my free $60 hostess incentive, hey ladies, what piece of lingerie are you going to pick for free for your sexy single lingerie challenge party? Right? Like, and I think what's cool is that when you're not working your business from a reactive place, you can get creative because you have space to breathe. You're not frantic. You're not like, oh my gosh, what am I doing this month? Oh my gosh, I need to be focused on this and I need to be focused on that. No, this is what I'm doing this month. This is my plan. Yes, I can pull this in to bump this up, but it is a good plan. It allows you to stay the course. So go through, look up national days, think about things that you might want to highlight. And here's the deal. It can even be really basic. Right? If you're not quite sure, if you're not crazy creative, guess what? Flip-flops and lemon drops for the summer, or sandals and sangria. We already have Valentine's Day. We already have Get Lucky in March. We already have, like, I don't know, May I think is National like Masturbation Month. Like, it's a big one. Oh, Louimi, what's up? Oh yeah, was that what you were gonna say? Okay. And then we have Breast Cancer Month. Like, there's a few really big ones that you guys can already plug in. You don't have to get super creative if you don't want to. I also love, you guys know I'm terrible about reinventing the wheel all of the time. Right? Like, if it's not broke, I'm gonna fix it anyway because I want to fix it, because I like to fix it, because I'm creative and blah, 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 blah. Guess what? This plan, when I stick to this plan, this is where you get to be creative. not with your booking game, not with your sponsoring game, not with changing up your demo so much that you don't even know what you're talking about, right? Not with your incentives, not with your whatever. You get to be creative in your business with your plan, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So think about incentives that you can offer, things that you can run. And then the next thing, obviously, that needs to go into your planners, and this actually should have been done before, kind of after family, team events need to be in your planner for the year. Because here's what we did, and I do think, okay, so I'm gonna, in forgiving myself for all of the times that I was not on the ball, I am going to feel really proud of the fact that I stuck to an event schedule this year. Considering I feel like I did a really good job of doing the events. Now, could I have done better in the planning stages? Yes, but did I cancel events because I didn't? No, and I used to do that. And I used to just be like, screw it, guys. Sorry, we're going to do it next week because I don't have it together. Instead, now I'm like, oh God, we have a boot camp in 20 minutes. I have 20 minutes to pull this together and I'm going to make this happen. So with our team events, especially anything that I am putting on, boot camps, right, empowerment calls, team meetings, team rallies, the dates do not change, because if I can't do it, I'm having one of our other trainers do it. So you can count on those events happening on that day. With obviously there might be some exceptions, but I feel like what, Anna, I maybe changed 2 events in 2019.
Yeah, 2. That's
Yeah.
it. You were on it.
Yeah. So I felt really good
so
about that. So you guys can put these events in your planner. Like I said, boot camps, empowerment calls, online team rallies, or in-person team rallies, those do not change. I don't want to speak to other leaders because I think that that's an unfair expectation. I know that not every other leader that we have has other leaders that they can pull in, right? So if for some reason something comes up for them, they may not have someone that can take over that event for them. I get that. But I at least want you to put our boot camps, our rallies in your planners so you guys can kind of work around those too. Those need to go in there. Because again, I don't here's the thing. My mom's birthday actually falls on a Tuesday of our rally this year. She doesn't care. So we're doing her birthday. Like, why would I change the team rally that's super consistent over a birthday that she doesn't care? She'll do it on Wednesday. Like, it does not matter to her. So that way it allows you, right, again, to kind of plan around what you need to plan. Another thing I want you to consider. Oh, sorry, Anna. Yes. Did you have something you wanted to ask?
I just have a question.
Yes.
When is successful SSW? What date?
Let me look.
Sorry.
I also, you guys, I do have most of the important dates done for 2020. I just don't have Jackie's dates yet.
Okay.
SSW is the 18th.
Of January?
Yes.
Thank you.
That is for Portland, Oregon, and for Modesto.
Okay. Thank you.
Louimi, where's the nearest big city to you, babe?
So I'm going to Rochester, New York this year.
Yes,
it's not close at all,
oh.
But my daughter is an hour away. So we're spending the weekends up there.
Perfect. Amanda, how about you, babe?
Pittsburgh, about 2 hours away.
Okay, are you going?
I can't this year.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so I will work on getting this out to you guys. Also, just so that you know, the Vixens Rally is going, this sounds a little crazy town. It is the first Tuesday of every month-ish. Here's why. Every first Monday is when corporate is releasing the meeting content. So ours is the first Tuesday after a first Monday. So what I mean by that is if Tuesday falls on the 1st, there's no first Monday. So it would actually be like the 9th or the 8th. Does that make sense? So you find whatever the first Monday is, and then it's that Tuesday. But I like I said, I'm working on the important dates, but just so you guys kind of have a general idea. So go through, put those events in your calendar. Also too, especially like Louimi and Amanda, for you guys specifically, the big events are not going to be on our calendar. Okay. Because you know what I mean? You two are in like little pockets. So what I need for you guys to do is you need to go to events.pureromance.com. And for things like SSW, like you can also look up market trainings, because there might be market trainings in your area that we actually don't have, because the East Coast has a lot more market trainings than we do. So go through, you can see what all of the big events are, and you need to look at all of the different locations and find the ones that are closest to you. Okay. So that's what I need for you guys to do, because corporate, and Anna knows because she's one of our trainers, we are really focused on getting you guys to corporate events this year. Corporate events are a game changer. Absolutely a game changer. So those need to be in your planner for the year. You need to be ready. You need to be saving. That's another thing that can actually be a part of your plan. Because if you need to be saving for these events, what you could do is usually, let's say if you're partying Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hey babe, on Mondays, maybe you know that for, let's say World Conference is coming up, right? That's kind of the next big event. So if you look at World Conference and you're like, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hey. Yeah.
Like an invoice or anything that I can like
Item, I can send you one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that I can figure something, I don't know what I have and then what I'll get later.
Oh yeah, no, I can totally do that.
I don't
Yeah.
wanna, like,
Oh no, you're fine, girl. No, I can totally send that to you.
okay.
Yeah.
That would help me out, because I was like looking back and I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, what did I
How am I
order? Will you, because I'll probably forget, will you message me and be like,
Yeah.
hey bitch, send me an invoice?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome, babe. Side note, good to see you.
Yes, good to see you.
Flash sale pickup. So like, let's say we have 30 weeks and you know that you need to save $1,000, right? So you would divide that $1,000 by 30 weeks. So it would be $33 a week. So then what you would want to do is in your planner, write $33, $33, $33. Oh no, wait, that's not super conscious. That's not how we're going to do it, right? Because guess what's here? Christmas. So maybe you can't afford to set aside $30 a week. So it might be $10, $10, $10. But after Christmas, it might be $40, $50. Guess what else? If you have 3 parties this weekend, maybe it's $70. No parties this week, $20. 1 party this week, $40. You just need to make sure that at the end of it, you've got that $1,000 or more, right? Does that make sense? And how, so after you've gone through and you found those big events, then you want to create a savings plan for those big events. Okay. That way, you know, you can obviously get there, because I know it sucks when it's like, hey, registration ends in 1 week and registration is $300, right? But again, this is about being intentional. And I think that, again, what's cool about being intentional, here's the thing. Let's say you don't save that $20, right? I'm not saying that that's not going to happen, right? What that means though is you're still thinking about it every week, right? So it's not this huge slap in the face when we're like, hey, you need $350 for registration. Hey, you need $400 for a flight. Hey, you need $150 for a hotel. It's not like boom, boom, boom. You know, right? Because you've sat down, you've done the math. Yes, Anna, go ahead, babe. Let me unmute you. There you go. Oh, no. Why did that not work?
Is that better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so I just have to say this year I did go to both. I've been at national, and the only way that I did it, ladies, is by putting money off to the side, because I'm telling you what, if you don't, it's going to come up quick, and then you're going to be like, I can't afford it. So if you start putting money away now for it, you are going to be able to go, and it's so worth it on each one. I am so, you learn so much from each one of them. It's amazing. And you get to see other teams and the girls, and it is such an experience. And I'm saying don't miss out on it. Start saving, because it works.
100%. No, 100%. And again, it's like everybody knows, right, that World Conference is coming up, and yet it seems to surprise everybody. Like, and I've been there, like, to be honest with you, it surprises me too. I'm like, oh shit, Lucy, like, get it together. But that's why we are crafting a plan, right? And this is where it really starts to come together. So at this point, you've figured out how many parties you want to be doing, right? You've been conscious in your goals. You've figured out what big events that you need to make time for. You have figured out what kind of money you need to be setting aside so that it really doesn't impact your family and you're not slapping it on huge credit cards, right? That's still worth it, by the way. I don't usually say that, but events are absolutely worth it if you're willing to come home and do the work. But again, you're planning for that. And then you've also done your promotions, right? You've looked at, okay, when do I want to do really heavy booking? Because if you guys are heavy booking on Facebook every single month, it becomes background noise, wah, 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 right? So if you've got 3 big promotions a year, or even 4 is fine, 4 big promotions a year. Also too, maybe you want to do a flash sale this year. Well, guess what, you guys, a successful flash sale takes 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I do mine in a week. It was still great, but you guys know if you were on my empowerment call, I was really pouty about it. Because it was like my best one, just for perspective, my best one was like 70,000. This one was 50. Still badass, but $20,000 less. That's a lot of money, right? But guess who didn't plan? And was like, oh shit, I need to do my flash sale in a week. And I did that to myself twice this year because I didn't have my annual plan in place, right? Last year I did. Last year my 2 flash sales were 62,000 and then like 73,000. Made a big difference. Even if it was just in getting my algorithms up, which I was able to do because I was thinking about my flash sale, because on my calendar for June 7th, I had flash sale, which meant in May 7th, I said, start boosting Facebook algorithms for flash sale. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a huge task. And I think that that's what's really amazing about this business too. Nothing is big. Nothing is big. You're literally writing down Facebook Live. Start posting more regularly. Or the other thing I will say that I had to do is I wrote down, write down Facebook posts in calendar. Because I didn't necessarily post in my Facebook group every single day, but starting in May, I had to. So then I wrote like VIP Facebook, VIP Facebook, VIP Facebook. Like I sat there and I actually wrote it in for every single day for the 6 weeks leading up. And then I wrote Facebook Live, Facebook Live, Facebook Live once a week, right? So that I knew to get them done. Because if it's not on a checklist or on a to-do list or on my planner, I'm not getting it done. Here's the other thing that I love about this. You guys ever sit at your desk and think, I should probably work? I don't know what to do. I still do that. Right? I still do that. But that's why my tasks are in here, right? I can sit here and I can look at this, and on the 16th of December, I can tell you that I need to do a goal update. I need to do my mid-month goal check-in. I need to book parties, and then I need to schedule the rest of the team posts, and then I also have a party for Rita, right? On the 17th, I need to make sure that that mid-month team recognition goes out, and then I'm actually going to schmooze my get 'em list. On December 18th, I'm going to do a live on my VIP group about sexy Santa, right? Like getting sexy on Christmas Eve, because it's not just about the kiddos, right? On the 19th, I'm supposed to check in with the whole team and do another goal update. Like they're in here, because otherwise they just don't happen. So there are certain things that I put on my month view versus like my tasks. So as an example, my task list, my task to-do list, let me see if I can find it here. It looks crazy town right now. This is where it says like new consultant training, hostess coaching, party closeout, like the plan tasks. So my task list is actually making sure and telling me to check out my plan tasks. Like, because this works for me though. So that's another thing to consider. What style works for you? Maybe it's electronic, right? Maybe it's not a paper planner. What works for you? Do you like to theme your days? Is it easier for you on Mondays to be doing all of your party closeout stuff, and then on Tuesdays be doing your hostess coaching, on Wednesday building your team, on Thursday booking parties, on Friday getting ready for your parties? Like, what works easier for you? Also too, maybe you can only work on a Wednesday night. Okay, that's fine. What can you do in that Wednesday night? You know, what do you need to be doing? So start thinking about what works best for you and how you can incorporate that into your plan. Now, the next piece of the plan, you need to schedule some me time and personal growth time. This one is really hard for me, like really hard. I'm really good at Netflix time. Apparently, though, Netflix is not personal growth, which is bull, by the way. Yes, it is important to have some relaxation time, but Netflix is not productive, right? So I don't know if you guys know that I just love TV. I don't even care what I watch. I just love TV. Did you guys know that there is a Netflix for personal development?
That's what I was just about to say.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
called
should
Gaia
all check
or
it out.
Gaia? Gaia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gaia.
Yeah.
Yes.
What? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, done, subscribe, I'm in. Like, it's actually really, really cool, you guys.
It is.
Let me pull it up here so I can kind of tell you what sort of stuff. I think it's the same, like $9.99 as Netflix or Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm not signed in right now, but they have manifestation stuff, how the brain works, rewire your brain, law of attraction. Like, it's literally TV shows on how to be a better person. Like, guess what? That does count as personal growth. And it's still TV time, right? Here's another thing. Like, for me, when I'm in the car, instead of just turning on whatever music, put on a podcast sometimes. Right? Podcasts are free. You can put on music that actually makes you happy. So take the 10 minutes to make yourself a Get Happy playlist. Bye, sweets.
No, I'm saying,
question,
I wanted to catch your attention.
Yeah, get it.
Our local library, I'm sure every library does this, has an app. And so you can borrow like audiobooks for free through your library, because audiobooks are expensive.
What?
Yeah, and I go through so many, and I finally figured it out. Of course, I'm in Southern Oregon, and I'm sure every library does this. If you have a legit library card through like whatever library you're through, you can get this app, and you just plug your library card in, and you can get free audiobooks to listen to.
Can you please do a Facebook Live on that? I know it'll probably only be like 4 minutes, but I want it to be live so that people actually listen.
Yeah, it's awesome. We listen. My son listens to kids' books in the car all the time, and I was like, I bet they have them for like adults, and it was like, like duh.
Oh my God!
So yeah,
mind
That's
blown.
awesome.
Yeah,
Mind blown.
I love them.
You love them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you love
he says he
them.
loves them.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and that way it's free too, because like, you know, my book budget is like our food budget, like it's out of control. So.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you guys, there's a really, and I was right there with you, babe, right there with you, right? Like, I was on buy sell trade groups asking if people had personal growth books that they wanted to trade. So I bought one book, and then from that one book, I just kept trading and trading and trading. So I always had a new book, right? Like, that's how I had to do it. Now I'm like, sign me up for all the things, because I need the tax write-offs. So yay, hashtag goals, right? As when you're like, please take my money for all of the audiobooks because I need the tax deductions. But I love that, because especially with an audiobook too, if you can kind of just check it out really easily, and then you've always got something to listen to. But that's where you're taking you know, you're creating me time in pockets that you may not have always had. Also, I don't know if you guys know this, there is like waterproof speakers. They're not crazy expensive. It's worth the investment if you don't have a Christmas list yet. Go on like Amazon, or even there's like shower bags, like on suction cups, so that you guys, what you can do is you put your phone on with your Audible, with your audiobook, you put it in the waterproof bag and you stick it to your shower wall so that you can be listening to your audiobook, to your podcast in the shower. So
That's awesome.
yeah. They actually make a shower curtain that has the pockets like in the shower curtain.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all of those like little things that you guys can do, right, to kind of maximize your time. But I also want you to schedule genuine you time, right? Where you get to sit in the bath for an hour, or you get to sit, I don't care, at a park, or you just go to Starbucks because you want to go to Starbucks. Like, you need to have a little bit of genuine you time, because if you are not in a good place, right? Again, this is about energizers and empowerers instead of disempowerers, right? You need to energize yourself to have the drive and the motivation to stick to your plan. Another thing that I think is really important, and it's so funny. Any of you guys ever work out? Like, ever in the history of your life? Okay. So
Yeah.
I used to, and now I don't, and then I do, and then I don't, and then I do, and then I don't, because I'm like, look, I don't have time to go to the gym. Like, I don't have time to go to the gym.
But guess what? We can do it at home, and that's the hardest shit to ever do and plan out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And here's the reality though. You get so much more done because the gym is an energizer. So much more done. So yes, you reduced an hour, but you increased your productivity for the next 4 hours, which means you are getting way more done in those 4 productive hours than you would have ever done in that hour that you spent at the gym, or even 30 minutes that you spent at the gym. Now, if you do not want to do that, that is fine. Go for a walk. Right? But that goes in your planner, so that you are not scheduling anything during that time.
This one, I just want to show you guys how dope this planner is. It has, look, I'm sorry, I have to tell you guys, hold on. How do I flip this? I don't know how to flip it. So let me turn it around. Do you guys see this?
Yes.
Workout minutes, water intake, and your accomplished, what you plan to accomplish for this. So I'm glad you spoke on this.
Where did you get that one?
Oh, this is the High Achievers annual playbook. This was introduced to us by one of this was back in Passion Party's time, and I had gotten it, but I never really followed it. And it was on sale. It's usually $54, and with the Cyber Monday, I got it for $23. So it's awesome. I bought it the last time, and I honestly didn't use it. So I'm sticking to it this time around, and it's awesome.
No, so get you guys a good planner, right? So also too, for me, like, I'm always like, work out in the morning. I don't care. It could be 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at when, again, be real to you. Look at when you have the time. And you know, I'm not perfect, right? Like, Mike and I have been talking about getting to the gym. We've been donating to a gym for like 6 months, right? So it's just that I know that when we do it, we feel better. So those are the types of things that you also need to be plugging in. And then also too, that personal development time. Another thing too is that you want to be spending 10% of your income on personal growth. Okay. And this is where I think that income gets a little bit skewed. And so I want you to think about this when you're thinking about your plan. obviously a lot of us are broke. A lot of people are broke. The problem is that if you, and I was listening to a really good podcast last night, it's called Manifestation Babe. I love her. And what she was talking about was how if we are treating our life like, if you're treating your finances right now like, oh, well, screw it, I don't have any money. So if you're not being responsible in your finances right now, or you can't handle your finances right now, why would the universe give you more finances to handle? If you cannot maintain and look after your space right now, why would it give you your dream home? Because it's more. Why would the universe give you more if you can't take care of what you have right now? And that really struck me. Especially with the finances, right? Because it's so easy to be like, well, if I had more money, this wouldn't be an issue. If I had more money, this wouldn't be an issue. But guess what we do with more money? We spend more money. It doesn't actually change the habits that you have around money. And so I feel like, especially with this business in particular, all of this money goes into debt or goes into bills or goes into whatever. But the reality is that this is money that you wouldn't have had. So if you've ever had the opportunity, right, to start to be responsible in your finances, it should be with your business money, because you couldn't count on it anyway, right? So it shouldn't be a part of your budgeting. So it's a really good place to start. I think it also helps you create, and here's the reality. Your income numbers might become bigger and scarier because of this. But I think that if you can embrace that's a really positive thing, right? Like you might have to make twice as much money as you thought that you had to make in order to be financially stable. But the reality is that if you actually work really, really hard and you achieve that, you're actually achieving success. Versus if you set a lower income goal, you're never going to feel successful because you're never actually going to be financially stable because you're not doing the things that are necessary to maintain that. Does that make sense? Okay, so ideally, you want to have 10% of your income going into personal development, and this is actually your whole income. And then you need to have 20% minimum going into retirement. They say that to survive, you need to have 15% going, 10% going away. I actually think it needs to be higher than that. To maintain wealth into retirement, it needs to be 20%. And I actually think, again, it might be a little bit higher than that. And then you want to have a rainy day fund with at least 3 months minimum income. But guess what that minimum income needs to include, right? That 10% personal growth, that retirement, like it is true minimum income, okay? So that you're not sliding backwards. That 3-month emergency fund should be that if you were literally like in bed for 3 months, you could pay into your retirement the same way. You could develop your personal growth the same way. You pay your bills the same way. Your groceries were paid. Like you don't have to make any cuts at all. You could maintain your life. And the reason why I think that that's important is because then if something genuinely happens to you and you really needed to cut back, you could actually eke out that emergency fund for longer. You could maintain your standard of living right now for 3 months, or you could make the conscious decision to cut a bunch of things out so that you could eke that out for longer than you needed to. You could eat ramen noodles and make that last for 9 months, right? Does that make sense? Whereas I think that people's emergency funds are bare minimum. We don't have enough in there. It's a bare minimum emergency fund so that when shit does hit the fan, there's expenses that they weren't planning for. There's things that they weren't planning for. And so then we go backwards, even though we had an emergency fund. Yes, Clara. You kind of froze there, babe. Okay. Clara, when you are unfrozen, babe, and you had something to say, let me know, because right now you frozen. All right. So financial, I think, financial planning is important. So that's another thing that needs to go into your planner, right? Or into your plan is how do I make enough money? Or how much money do I actually need to make? That's something that you guys need to be considering. Because again, if you need to make, or you want to make $3,000 a month, again, if your goal was 3 parties in a month, that's a little bit problematic, right? And then 2, also, here's the other thing that I want for you to do. If you have a 10 party a month goal, but you only have maybe $1,000 income goal, you need to plan for what you're going to do with the rest. Where does the rest of that money go? Because otherwise you're going to flitter it away. You're going to waste that money. And then if you're wasting that money, really, what's the incentive to do 10 parties a month? You don't have anything to show for it. The amount of women that quit this business because they don't think they're making money is ridiculous. And I know for a fact, if you're doing $5,000 in a month, you are making money. Right? But if you're hitting up the drive-through, you're getting your nails did, you're getting your hair done, you like, because the thing is it's really easy to go from getting a $30 haircut to a $120 haircut and not feel any different. But you're spending way more money on it, and that money is disappearing. So if you have a minimum income goal, but your actual party goal would make you more money, what are you going to do with the rest? Is it going into savings? Is it going into inventory? Are you going to put 30% into retirement? Like, are you going to put money into a fund? Because maybe you do just want to get your nails done, and maybe you do want to spend $120 on your hair instead of $10 on your hair. That's totally fine. But when you go and get your hair done, you better be feeling good about that. It's not this accidentally on purpose mindset, right? It's about being intentional in those goals. Okay, so we've got personal growth kind of into the plan, right? We've got the team into the plan. We've got your personal business and your personal business into the plan and those goals. We've got your family into the plan, right? We've got your finances into the plan. Anything that you need to be putting into your calendar, put into your calendar. As an example, for January, one of the dates, and again, you guys can also move these things too. So it doesn't matter if you're putting it on the wrong day right now, but for January, I have a full day that says tax day, right? Because I know that at some point in January, I need to sit down and start working on my taxes. But that also means that for, October, it says find an accountant. Like, it's little tasks that I'm getting reminded of so that I can operate on my higher self. I don't have to worry all year about, oh my God, I don't have an accountant, I don't have an accountant, I don't have an accountant, because I know that in October, I'm going to be reminded that I need an accountant or that I need to buy TurboTax, right? But this also means that in your day-to-day life, when you have a quick thought like that, like, okay, this is going to sound silly. I was chatting with somebody. I really need to reevaluate my car insurance company, right? But we're also in the middle of a car insurance claim right now, so I don't want to change our car insurance. But I don't want to keep worrying about remembering to, change my car insurance. So for May, I wrote down do car insurance comparison. Period. So it's down, so it can leave my brain. Okay, so whenever you have like little thoughts like that, put them down. Also too, on your phones, there is that like reminder app or get a reminder app. So what I like about that is that like I get a lot of my thoughts when I'm driving. I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's in the shower, maybe it's when you're driving, but this is where thinking about, okay, where do I do my best thinking? And so I put my reminder screen on my home screen so that then I can just hit the plus button. And then that means that I can hit the voice to text and I can say, get an accountant, save. And then what I do once a week, I go through my reminder list and I put them in the plan. So that even means on your phone calendar, you could have a pop-up reminder that says put reminders in the plan. Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems kind of crazy, but it's like, if you don't remember that this exists, you're not going to use it. If you don't remember that this exists, it's not going to make its way onto here. So that's where, like, I have things in place. It's a recurring reminder, and I do use my phone for that. It's a recurring reminder on my phone. It's set for every single week that just says, put reminders into plan. And then I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like, one of them right here is put reminders in a trainer message thread using the Facebook feature. So Anna knows, because she's in there. I put in there for them for January one of those Facebook reminders that says schedule your posts. So then I don't have to think about it. It's just going to pop up. But that was something I thought about while I was driving. It says manifestyourbusinessbydesign.com, because I want to go and I want to check that website out. Manifestation Babe has a hypnosis that I want to check out. But when I'm in the car for 3 hours, and then I go home, or I do a party and then I come home, I don't remember that stuff, but I want to. So it's in here, right? So this kind of allows you, like I said, to live your, and Chris says it all the time, live your life by design. This does not have to be crazy time consuming, right? I didn't just tell you to hostess coach for 3 hours a day. I didn't just tell you that you had to work your business 9 hours a day, right? You get to work your business on your time, on your schedule, as you want to. But I want it to be as you want to and as you have time to, because I think that part of the panic, everyone is living in this space of chaos and panic and fear and desperation. I want you guys to pull up your fucking big girl panties and get your goddamn lives right. Right? How are you going to go out there and be a boss babe if you're stressing over what you're even supposed to be doing? How are you supposed to go out there, be your best self, be bubbly, be energetic, talk to potential hostesses if you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing today, right? It's hard. It's draining. It makes this business take effort. Have you guys ever had a point in your life where everything just felt like you were operating on all cylinders? You sat down to work and it just flowed. Right? Mm-hmm. Like you were just, we call it like in the groove, right? Or in the flow. Yeah, I know you're not in your flow. Everybody's fucking with you.
Oh.
Yeah, rough. He is not living with a plan. Hashtag just saying. So here's what allows you to be in your space, right? You guys can be in your power when your power is not being drained by everything else around you. So here's the other thing that I'm going to say. You need to schedule your chores.
Yuck.
Yeah, it's gross. I hate it. But you can, here's the thing. For me, I would rather have 1 day a week that I busted out.
Yep.
Right? I also don't have a bunch of little kids running around, so that works for me, right? For somebody else, it might be 30 minutes a day. Mm-hmm. Also, too, here's what I want you to consider. In the morning, I'm crazy productive. My brain is on fire in the morning. Do not waste fire brain doing the dishes. Right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, I hate doing the dishes at night before I go to bed, but the reality is that I can prop my phone up behind the sink, I can watch my Netflix, which is what I would be doing anyway, and I can get the dishes done in the evening. Okay? So focus on those, because the reality is we have laundry. The reality is we have a house to clean. The reality is, you know, that we have dishes to do. I don't even have a dishwasher. I don't know if you guys know that. Anna knows that, but I don't have a dishwasher. Yeah, it's awful. Awful. So dishes in my house need to happen. It's a reality. So I'm not saying that that necessarily has to be in your plan, right? But one of the things that I did was I took a Post-it note and I kind of created a framework for like my ideal day. Now, it gets thrown out of the window 90% of the time. So please know that. here's what my ideal day kind of looks like. And again, it shifts because your day is going to shift. You have appointments, you have things happening. First thing in the morning, I'm a morning person. I actually feel really good when I get up in the morning. This is going to sound crazy. I actually have a tendency to oversleep. I don't know if you guys know this, but oversleeping is actually a thing. It drains your energy. I function the best on 6 hours a night.
Mm-hmm.
Mike functions better on about 7 or less. Actually, Mike functions better like 4 hours a night, but then with like a 2-hour nap in the afternoon. But so know what works well. And I cannot do that. I do not function well after a nap. I am not one of those people. I cannot go to sleep for 30 minutes and wake up refreshed. Now, I do believe in naps. I'm just not good at them and they don't work for me. So my ideal day would be actually getting up at 5:30, doing the gym for 1 hour, quick shower, get Cadence to school. Come home, office. Okay, like office work. I like those couple hours in the morning, like 8 to 10 or 11. That is when I get the bulk of my actual work done. That's when I'm scheduling posts. That's when I feel creative. That's also when people aren't blowing me up with dumb questions. That is when people are doing their own kind of thing. So I can actually get work done. That's when I schedule my hostess coaching. That's when I organize, because I can sit down and really think, right? Kiddo's gone, Mike's doing his thing. Like I can sit and plan, right? The afternoon, I tend to get by like 1 or 2 o'clock, I'm like, ooh, like my energy really starts to dip. So that's when I do my appointments and my meetings. That's when I do my doctor's appointments. That's when I do all of that kind of thing. And then that's when we go and we pick Cadence up for school. Now, in an ideal world, I would actually like from 3 o'clock onwards to not work. At least 50% of the time. And then obviously in the evenings, I have my parties. Sometimes I have an empowerment call, or whatever, but I would really like to, so then I'm kind of getting my chores done. I'm getting my life right. I'm kind of doing my family things in that time frame, but I just have it on a Post-it, like I said, and yours might look totally different because you might have a 9 to 5, right? So it might be wake up, oh shit, kids to school, get to work. But then remember, if you have a 30-minute lunch break and you're bored doing nothing, that might be that might be work time. And like I said, I don't stick to it every single day. It's only one Post-it note because then it's not in my face every day that I'm not achieving it. But you're literally just going to put it on your month view. So it's your target. And it's a reminder. So when Anna's like, hey, Lucy, I want to have a call, or Louimia's like, hey, Lucy, I want to have a call, I'm not like, perfect. How about Monday at 9:30? Because that's not actually in line with what I want. I can say, you got it, Anna. How about 12:30? Or how about 1? Does that kind of make sense too?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I know that I said that I would talk about sponsoring, but I kind of got more in depth into this plan than I had anticipated, but I feel like this is important.
No, it's good. Yeah, totally.
Cool.
This
Okay.
was totally important. Yes.
Because here's the other thing too, you guys, booking comes from your parties. Sponsoring comes from your parties. Online parties comes from doing online parties. Parties come from Facebook posts and talking to people and working your business. And if you cannot work your business in an effective way, then what's the point? Right?
Yeah.
And if your family is a mess and you never see them and they resent your business, what's the point? If you don't feel like you're making money because your finances are a mess, then what's the point? If you don't feel good and successful and like you're growing in your life, then what's the point? Right? Those are the reason women leave. Those are the reason you're not motivated. Those are the reason you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I really don't want to. That's been me this year. I feel very unsuccessful this year. So guess what happens? right? Now, luckily, I'm a lifer, right? So I'm not going anywhere. And I always know that I can get my head right and I can get my mindset right. But if you haven't been in for a couple years, if you're not locked in, if you're not in it to win it, it's really easy then to be like, well, then why am I doing this? Bye. Right? And just leave and just give up. The only way to fail is to give up. But most women don't have the energy to keep going because they're not fueling what makes them feel good. Right? They're not fueling feeling successful. They're not fueling the finances, because the reality is that if you are really aware of and you don't have to do this, but if you are really aware of your finances down to the penny, you would see that you spent $27 at 7-Eleven buying yourself some soda, some candy, and some cigarettes, right? You would see that you spent $22 in the Taco Bell drive-thru for your kiddos. Well, guess what? Last week, you didn't have money for a drive-thru. So did it feel good and successful that you went through the drive-thru? No, it didn't, because you didn't celebrate it, because you didn't feel it. But if you could roll through that drive-thru and think, hell yeah, I made $27 at that party. My kids get nuggets. Because who's to say that's not a success, right? Who's to say that's not a win? If you can take your kids to McDonald's so they can play in a play area for 30 minutes, you can afford the nuggets and you can work your business for 30 minutes, why is that not success? Because I think that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it might be later that same feeling of success comes from taking your kid to Disneyland and getting to eat in the Blue Bayou restaurant, which is the restaurant that's in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yes, it is.
Right? But that's what ours looked like. We used to be excited when we could go to McDonald's. Like, that was a big deal. But you got to celebrate it. Like, you got to own that that's success for you right now. Because if you cannot do it then, if you can't celebrate McDonald's when you couldn't have McDonald's before, whenever you wanted it, I can tell you right now, you will not feel good when you're eating in a fancy ass restaurant either. Because it is the same mindset. It will never, ever be enough. So you have to learn how to celebrate what you're achieving now. And the universe, I promise you, will give you more to celebrate and bigger things to celebrate, because it's going to look at you like, oh, she knows what's up. She knows how to appreciate this. She knows how to feel gratitude for this. So if I give her more, she is going to find joy. Versus that girl that's like, this is never good enough. Why would the universe give you something badass if it's never going to be enough? Right? So celebrate small wins. Take control of your life. And also remember, this is always going to be a mess. Nobody is ever going to do this perfect. Right? But you are not going to feel guilty. You are not going to beat yourself up over it. That's why you only have one Post-it note of your ideal day instead of having it in every single day, because I do not want you to feel like you're epically failing at every single day. It is just a timeline. And then the final thing that I want for you guys to do is I would like for you to have a sheet of paper. And I want for you to write down a few things that you would like to achieve this year, feel this year. It can be material things. It can, and then some bigger things that you're kind of working towards. So like, as an example, mine says new wardrobe. Like, I want some new clothes in 2020.
Heck yeah.
Right? Like, I also want a new mattress.
Yes.
Like, it's silly. It's not a goal. But I would feel really good if I could just go out and pay cash for a new mattress. Like, that would feel really nice to me, right? It might, and I mean, you guys know, so some of you don't know, I guess, I have 2 computer monitors. Computer monitors are not that expensive. I think they were each like $100. But that was on my list for 2019, was I wanted 2 computer monitors, right? Like, doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be crazy, and it doesn't have to be, I don't know, because again, it's something that I could celebrate. It was only $200 to get my double monitors only. I know that that's a lot. But it wasn't like it was a new car, right? So instead of just dropping $200 and being like, cool, I have dual monitors, I was like, hell yeah, I just got that on my list of shit that I wanted, and I got to cross it off, and it felt good. And it's been, I don't know, a year, half a year, a year and a half. I'm still talking about my cool ass double monitors that I earned all by myself.
Yeah, girl.
You guys, when I'm on it, I make 10 grand a month. Spending 200 is not a big deal. But you celebrate the wins.
No matter how small, it's true.
Yep. You got to celebrate the wins. Okay? The universe can give you big shit to celebrate. All right. Any questions for me?
No. But
Okay.
I do have to say something.
Yes.
So I just wanted to talk real quick about Capicana. And, you know, yes, I'm not there, but I am proud of myself because I achieved my requirements. I made it. And I'm happy for the other girls. It just, I did not get it in.
You're a good person.
You know, but I am proud of myself. And, you know, the thing is I really was hitting it hard, and I really am proud of myself through what I was going through. And, you know, when you feel like you don't achieve it, all I say is look back and look at the positive stuff that you did. You did it.
Yeah.
You know, you made the effort. And I was working it hard, and I'm proud of myself for that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But don't give up.
100%.
So that's all I have to say.
I love it. All right, you guys, I'm going to stop